So today we don't have sunglasses because we're not laughing and making jokes. Because in this video, we're going to go over the top 5 most impressive teams slash best the first half of the season. Now, I want to make something evidently clear. This list is very difficult to make. And I know that regardless of whatever I do, there's going to be people that are salty. The Green Bay Packers, Kansas City Chiefs, Indianapolis Colts, those 3 teams did not make the list. And a lot of people might disagree with that. I think just because the Packers are great and their defense played great, their defense kind of slowed down a little bit. And Aaron Jones was great, but he hasn't been as dominant as he was earlier in the season. The Kansas City Chiefs have also been great, but I feel like since Mahomes got hurt and even right when that game of the Colts happened, they kind of, I don't want to say fell off, but they've been less impressive. If there was a top 10 list, all 3 of those teams would probably make it. I'm going to count the honorable mention in this list as well. Like I said, present the logo. It's not going to go into a trash can because there's a very good chance that one of these 5 teams will probably win the Super Bowl. And my Super Bowl prediction is actually on this list. Some people are going to be salty, like I said, especially AFC South folks. The Tennessee Titans are not on this list either. If they had a top 10, I don't think they'd make that list either. They'd be maybe right outside that list. The Green Bay Packers is what's going to probably upset people, and Kansas City as well. Just because Mahomes got hurt and they've been losing games and they haven't been as dominant as they were. They're still in the mix, and I'm sure that at the end of the year I'll have them there as well. So, the first team to go over here is an honorable mention, and that's the Houston Texans. And that's where the Colts fans that are watching this cry their tears. I expected the Colts to be good, but I feel like the Texans impressed me more. I know Deshaun Watson is great, but Deshaun Watson has been fantastic all season. He has a great supporting core for the most part. He ranks 6th among active quarterbacks with 2,231 yards. And his supporting cast, DeAndre Hopkins, is ranked 2nd among active receivers with yards. Watson has passed for 16 touchdowns this year. The team ranks 6th in league with rushing with 1,069 yards. Carlos Hyde is ranked just outside the top 10. He's ranked 12th in total yards with 544 yards. Hopkins is ranked 10th in receiving with 617 yards, but their defense has been a liability, especially with J.J. Watt going down for the season. You hate to see someone like that. It couldn't have happened to a better person. Not like you wish it for it to happen to anybody, but the Houston Texans have been very impressive, especially Deshaun Watson. And I think the AFC South is going to be a dogfight between them and the Colts. I would say, based on the flow of consistency, the Colts are in a more favorable position to win, but I think the Texans are somewhat of a better team. They're really close, and it's hard to describe it. The Titans also are in there, but I don't think we'll win the division. I think we'll because our second half of our season is a lot harder, and I think we'll probably, if we're lucky, get a wild card. But even then, Buffalo Bills. Another team I forgot to put in this list, the Buffalo Bills, are also, that was a team that I was debating, but I think that their defense has been fantastic, but their offense hasn't been as strong as I thought it was going to be. Just like I said, this is a tough list to make, and so many people are going to be disappointed. Listen, you can't please everybody. I spent over quite a few hours making this list, so let's crack into the top 5, shall we? Number 5 on the most impressive teams, the Seattle Seahawks. Why is that? Because Russell Wilson has been amazing all year. The team itself is not the best team in the league, but the NFC West is going to be a dogfight this year. Russell Wilson has been on a tear majority of the season. He is one of the NFL's most complete passers. He ranks top 10 in the league in passing yards with 2,127. Chris Carson, their running back, has also quietly been, not so much quietly, he's actually been fantastic. He's ran great for Seattle all year. He ranks 8th among active running backs with 659 yards. And they rank just outside the top 10 in passing yards and QBR at 2,023 yards. The Seattle Seahawks are 6-2, and they've been playing fantastic. KJ Wright has also been a good player on their defense as well. So this Seattle Seahawks team was a team that some people may say I should have left off the list, but just because I expected them to be good, but I didn't expect them to be this good. They really knocked my socks off. And I think that that's where you have to give the credit to where it is due for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, number 4, anybody that knows me knows I've been watching this team all season. Not physically with my eyes, but if they were to win, it's not going to happen, but if they were to win the Super Bowl this year, I would love to just say I told you so because so many people overlook this team. Number 4 is the Minnesota Vikings. They're ranked second in the league with rushing yards with 1,281. Dalvin Cook may be the best running back in the league. He's absolutely unbelievable this year. Their defense ranked 4th in points allowed with 16.5. Believe it or not, Kirk Cousins is ranked 13th in the league with 1,997 yards. Well, that may be not that much of an impressive stat. Overall, their rushing attack, just as a whole, is ranked 3rd in the league. Is ranked 8th in the league at sacks at 23. They have a solid team, 8 interceptions on the year. And let's talk about Stephon Diggs, who will probably make the top 5 list of wide receivers this year. He's been unbelievable. He's ranked 4th in receiving yards with 706 yards against some reasonably tough competition, and the Vikings are 6-2. Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs, and this defense is really going to be a huge factor. Now, the only problem as to why they can't win, to me, is because Kirk Cousins is one of those quarterbacks where I feel like the bigger the moment gets, the more he'll shit the bed. I could definitely see Kirk Cousins throwing 4 picks in a NFC divisional game. Not even that, if they were to be lucky enough to make it to the championship. I don't overlook them, but the NFC is so hard that I feel like the Vikings would have a legitimate chance in the AFC, but I think the NFC is just way too strong for them to do that. So the Vikings are number 4, but I like them a lot, but I think Kirk Cousins would be a question mark come playoff time as to what he can deliver. Number 3. Now, I know everyone's going to probably shit on this one because they played nothing but teams that are as good as bag of chips all year long. Number 3 is the New England Patriots. I understand that they have played maybe one really decent team, and that's the Buffalo Bills. But the team still is a team. I mean, Tom Brady might not be having the best season of his career, but he's ranked top 5 in passing yards with 2,251 yards. Their defense, are you ready for this, is ranked number 1 in the league with points per game allowed, averaging 5.4 points per game. So on average, the Patriots do not even give up a touchdown to teams. They also lead the league in sacks with a pass rush, 31 sacks, and interceptions with that lethal secondary and defense with 19. So the New England Patriots defense is completely unbelievable. Like I said, I know they played a lot of teams that are complete garbage, and that's where people will probably argue their standpoint. If they had played much better competition and put up these stats, I would probably put them at number 1, or at least number 2. But like I said, Brady is still top 5 in passing yards, despite what people may think about him having a more quiet year for himself and not very Tom Brady-esque. They're undefeated at 8-0, and it's very tough to see any team in the AFC really stopping this Patriots team. I don't think the Ravens are Lamar Jackson's going to really fold. I think he'll fold strongly in the playoff position. In a game in New England, I don't think the Ravens would get out of it with Lamar Jackson. I'm not taking anything away from him. Now the Colts, that's the question mark. The Colts defense is strong enough, but you need an absolute extremely elite defense to stop the New England Patriots. Edelman's been good this year. Michelle is kind of ranked down more, but from what I've seen, he's also an impact player there. Just in general, I don't really see anybody in the AFC stopping. Now, there's also Kansas City, but their defense is a liability. And if you're not a complete team, you won't stop the Patriots. But defense is the most important thing. You need a pass rush. And that's why there's a team on this list that I think could give a lot of trouble to the New England Patriots. If your pass rush is not among the most elite in the league, you probably won't beat New England. And your offense has to be better than that. Offense has to be above average. You don't have to have a Kansas City offense to beat the New England Patriots, but you need a very good offense. So if the Chiefs would have a defense that was extremely strong, I would say yes. Also, home field would be important. But I think just for me, I just think that the Patriots, I want to see them play better competition. Played the Jets twice. They played the Dolphins. They played the Redskins. They played the Bills was their tough game. They played the Giants. So it's just they haven't played teams that are on their level or above it. And that's why they're number 3. Number 2 is the team that I think is going to win the Super Bowl this year. And that may change because there's a team that is really kicking ass. Number 2 is the New Orleans Saints. They were my Super Bowl prediction winner before the season started, and I'm still sticking with them. Here's why. The Saints have not had Drew Brees for 5 games this season. Yet despite that, the team is ranked 8th in total passing yards without Drew Brees. They're also ranked 7th in the league with passing touchdowns. Their defense is strong enough. They're ranked 8th in the league with points per game allowed with 19.3, and they're ranked 6th in the league with 24 sacks. Alvin Kamara got hurt, and it wasn't a problem. They had the next man up mentality. Latavius Murray has been a great running back in his filler-in role for the New Orleans Saints. The Saints did not lose a single game without Drew Brees. That's right. Everybody started to hit the panic button. Oh, my God. Holy shit. No Drew Brees. They went 5-0 with Teddy Bridgewater. So how about that? Now, here's another thing that I think people need to look after. Drew Brees is currently, after only 3 games played, ranked 33rd in the league with passing yards. But I want you to say this. Watch where he finishes. Watch where he finishes. If he stays healthy the rest of the season, he's not going to be in top 5 because you can't, that 5-game gap, you can't make up for that. But watch, I wouldn't be surprised if he's inside top 15. Maybe if I get crazy top 10, that's probably not going to happen. But watch where Drew Brees finishes. Michael Thomas is the best receiver in the league. He leads the receivers in the league with yards at 875 and a catch percentage that's unbelievable with hands of glue at 82%. Cameron Jordan is 4th in the league with sacks at 8, and I already went over their team's passing yards and stats and their defense as well. I think the Saints are the most overall well-rounded team. Their defense has proved well. Their defense is definitely strong enough, and their offense is just complete holy shit. So, to me, the Saints would win the Super Bowl just based on that factor. But I have New Orleans Saints at number 2. So now, who is the most impressive team? Maybe not the best team in the league, depending on who you ask. The number 1 team is the San Francisco 49ers. Why? Well, 1, they're undefeated. Now, some people will say, well, Jimmy Garoppolo's a liability a little bit. Yeah, he hasn't really impressed that much, and he's not really one of the top reasons why this team's 7-0. Their defense is unbelievable, and their defense is strong enough to stop the New England Patriots. So this is the team that I think I would love to see match up against them. They are ranked 2nd in the league with points per game allowed at just 9.6, and that's against better competition. They're ranked 2nd in the league with rushing yards, despite not having a complete back. 1,268. They lead the league with rushing touchdowns at 13. Nick Bosa has 7 sacks, and he is just as good, if not better, than his brother. Richard Sherman is top 3 in the league with 3 interceptions this year. They are ranked 4th in the league with sacks at 27. George Kittle ranks top 5 in tight ends with receiving yards. The San Francisco 49ers defense is absolutely horrifying, and their offense is strong enough maybe to put up points. But the problem is I don't know what Jimmy Garoppolo would look like in the playoffs, and I think that we need to see more from him on the San Francisco 49ers team. So that's kind of where I have that set at. But the San Francisco 49ers, to me, are the most impressive team so far this year, just based on that fact alone, as how strong their defense is and how they have played overall as well. I hope a lot of people enjoyed this video. Like I said, this is a very hard list to make, but those are your top 5 most impressive teams. I don't know where we'll go from here. Crown Jewel WWE is about to start, and I actually don't know how much I'm looking forward to this pay-per-view, especially because I probably have to review it. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed the list, and if your team didn't make it, so sorry.